I don't like how much we have to do on the computer here. I'm getting used to it, but it's different. Okay, this will be good. So, what you need to be able to do from this sheet, from looking at the quiz, you've got to do a better job evaluating, can I do this or can I not do this? Okay, there's a lot of things on the quiz that we've done a lot and you should be able to do, especially with the review in the morning and especially with the review sheets. You have to be more honest with yourself. Ooh, I don't understand what's going on here. And ask questions when you have them. Okay? So what's important about this worksheet? You got to be able to plot points and you got to be able to find slope by counting up and over and down. Okay? You've got to have that skill. Okay? If not, ask questions, come in for help. When am I available for help? Before school. What time do I get here? 7:15. 7:15 I get here. And then what else? After school? Yep. Study hall? Oh, definitely during 8th period. You betcha. Okay? And lunchtime, it takes me a little bit to eat, maybe 10 minutes. Yep. I have planned 6th hour. Okay? More of you need to take advantage of that. So here we go. This is one of my favorite riddles of all time. What is used to repair big brass band instruments? You need to do number 11, which is on the board there. Okay? That's why I didn't put a final grade on yours yet. So what do you need to be able to do here? Same thing on the first worksheet, be able to count and get your slope. But right away, you need to be able to tell on all these things, give yourself a general idea. This one's going to be greater than 1. It's going to be positive. This one's going to be less than -1, like -2, -3, -4, just by its slope. This one's going to be a fraction, but going to be a negative. This one's going to be positive. Thank you. I'm sending your pass right now. Thank you. Now it's done. You don't have to worry about it anymore. 5. This one is going to be kind of close to -1, but probably a little steeper, but we know it's negative. And this one, it's horizontal, so what slope does that have? 0, because there's no rise. There's no rise. Okay. On the bottom, you need to be able to find the slope between 2 points, either using how much did the x change, how much did the y change, or subtract y minus y over x minus x. Again, you should be thinking to yourself, can I do this and can I not? If not, I need to ask questions, or if I'm too scared for whatever reason in class to ask questions, I need to get together with a friend, I need to go see Mr. Rexroth, but I can't just let this slide. Okay, next one. What happened to the guy who fell into the upholstery machine? You guys didn't do as well on that one as the other ones. He's fully recovered. Because upholstery is the covering of furniture, stuff like that. Okay? Like where I'm at right now, this thing has some upholstery on it. It feels like fake leather. Okay? That chair has upholstery on it. Okay? So again, think about what you should be able to do now. You should be able to graph, if it's in y equals form, you should be able to graph it. Slope-intercept. You should be able to do some things with temperature. And we talked about this at the end, you should be able to graph something where there's only one variable. That's the trickiest part to this whole worksheet, I think. Like 18, x equals 3. It's 3, 0, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 5. So it ends up being all the points that make a line that hits the x-axis at 3. You've got to be able to graph those. Okay? With that said, any problems on that whole first 3 pages that you want to take a look at? I'd be glad to do any problem. Yes, ma'am? The temperature ones. Okay, let's take a look at the temperature ones. The temperature is -6. So here we go. It's -6. And it's rising at the rate of 2 degrees per hour. Okay? The problem with this is that the blocks are worth 2. So if you're going up at 2 degrees per hour, you go up, that's 2 degrees right there. You don't have to go 2 blocks. So that's up 2 degrees in an hour, up another 2 degrees in an hour, up another 2 degrees in an hour, up another 2 degrees in an hour, and it's going to look like this. The common mistake is people go up 2 blocks. You got to keep in mind, in the context of the situation, what is my axis worth? And it's 2 degrees in every hour, which is only 1 block in this case. Okay. 14, the temperature is 12, and it's dropping at the rate of 3 degrees per hour. So it's 12, and there's 3 degrees right there in an hour, another 3 degrees in an hour, another 3 degrees in an hour. Boom, 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 boom. Did that help?
Yeah.
Great question. One of these right here? Okay. Well, let's think about 15. My y is 5. It's saying my... Well, first of all, you could look at this 2 different ways, Adira. 0x plus 5. So then my y-intercept is 5. And then my slope is 0, so it's flat. But what I would encourage you to do is just realize, here's what it's saying. I don't care what my x is, as long as you tell me my y is 5. So 0, 5, 1, 5, 2, 5, 3, 5, 4, 5. Those are all the points where my y is 5. And the shortcut is y equals 5. There's no x. It's not going to hit the x-axis. It's going to hit the y-axis at 5. We go the other one, x equals negative 2. Think of points that have x equals negative 2. Negative 2, 0. Negative 2, 1. Negative 2, 4. Negative 2, negative 4. Negative 2, negative 6. And all those, if we connect them, it hits the x-axis at negative 2. Give me a thumb scale. Where do you think, based upon your history of Algebra 1 and geometry, thumb up is I'm a great line grapher, I'm a terrible line grapher. Show me where you think you're at. Show me where you think you're at. Be honest. Okay? Thank you. Okay? That's all right. I don't mind all the feedback I can get. Okay, you done with that?
Yes.
Have it real quick, please. Thank you. Good deal. I'm going to give this back to you. I'll put your grade in after we're all done, but we're going to go over it right now. Okay. Okay, you've seen the grades I put in. They need to be better. Did you agree with that? Okay. And for me, I'm an honest person. I'm going to tell you when things are great. I'm going to tell you when things are poor. There's some things I'm frustrated with that I thought we would do a lot better with based upon the work we had done in class and the review. First thing I'm going to ask is this. Raise your hand nice, high, and proud if you came in for the review that morning. Raise your hand. Okay? So you guys need to take advantage of that. If you look back at it, man, there's some problems there that gave us some hints as to what, well, actually, it shouldn't be any surprise because it was all on the review sheet. But those problems, remember, are there to get you warmed up for the quiz. Okay? Let me hand your quiz back. And I'm sorry to admit that I don't have all of your names memorized yet. I'm working on it. Caitlin? Dang it. Jace? Don's house.
No, she's just gone.
He's gone. Dara.
April. Sorry.
Oh. Even. Erica Ellie. Late week going? Oh, I'm sorry. I just totally missed over it. I told you it was going to take me a while to get names down. That's right. I remember her being gone. Okay, good. There are some things I'm going to tweak on my behalf too, but man, we can do better. We can do better. And one thing I'm going to refer back to, just to kind of show you that you've had opportunities, please do a better job with being honest with yourself. Can I do this or can I not do this? Looking at this, let's just go through it and I'll pull some things in as we go. All real numbers. All real numbers. Yes, yes, I think you guys did fine with that. This one, all real numbers. Remember that we are, even though this is going up, it's still going out. So we are using all my x's. Okay. My range. Now, if you're struggling with range and stuff like that, that's a concern because it's just what y's get used. These y's don't get used. These y's are getting used. You can even squish that into your y-axis like we talked about from -2 on up. No, it's not 1-to-1 because the answer 2 happens twice. The answer 0 happens twice. The answer 4 happens twice. It's not on 2 because -5 never happens. This one here, use set builder notation in part C. Scroll aside. From -4 to 0. Look at my x's. From -4 to 0. And x is greater than 1. My y's from -infinity to -3. So it's got to be less than -3. And then from -2 is when I next pick up my y values all the way up to 2. And you know what? Okay, be honest with yourself. If this didn't go well on the review sheet and you didn't really hit it hard and address it, it probably didn't go well here either. Okay? So, come on. 2. Dealing with continuity. I want to look at this problem right here from our review sheet. We said that was continuous. It is continuous. Does it go on forever in both directions? It doesn't have arrows on it. It just stops. It doesn't have to go on forever. Okay? Continuous, basically, what we've said and reiterated, at least tried to, you can draw it without lifting your pencil. You can draw it without lifting your pencil. I need to be I need to be specific about that because we're leading towards calculus eventually, and continuity is really, really, really important. And they actually talk about continuity in pre-calculus as well. So it's just a term that you've got to see that its behavior is predictable and it doesn't have any jumps, gaps. Okay? So then there's your examples. 3. What have we done on our assignments? We listed them specifically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Really can't say 1 to 7 because we didn't have 4.5, didn't have 2.5, something like that. Same with our range. And then it's not 1 to 1 because 17 happens twice. And here's why it's important. Now, in this basketball deal, it's not really crazy important, but later on, if I ask, what day did they shoot 21 baskets? What do you say? 7th day. Okay. If I say, what specific day did they make 17 baskets? 5th day or 2nd day. So it's hard to nail it down just to 1. And that has some surprising consequences later on. So we're laying the groundwork for what that means. So then we can pull back later on and talk about being on to and the horizontal line test and such. Okay, let's do this. Raise your hand if on the first page you made a silly mistake. Raise your hand. So about everybody. So how can we avoid that? Well, a little bit more practice, come in for the reviews, take your time, go back, check things. One thing that's nice about this class, you got a little bit more time. I know a lot of you guys got this done fairly quick. Go back, double check some things. You do your review assignments really thoroughly. Ask questions when you got them. Do your homework really thoroughly. Ask questions when you got them. I'm going to sound like a broken record. Okay, here we go. You did fine with these. Continuous, discrete, neither. 5. Again, with a linear, this is I talked about this before. This is where you need to have a conceptual understanding of what we're talking about. Yes, there's certain equations that linear things have, but the bottom line is their graph is a line. That's linear. One way you can tell, up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1. Your rate of change is always the same. Here, up 2 over 1, up 1 over 2, the rate of change doesn't stay the same, and it's not a line. So no, that's not linear. This one, no, it's not linear because it's decreasing for a while, it's increasing for a while. It's not a line. X-intercept, Y-intercept. This part, believe it or not, I tried to design so that would have been free points. I'm like, okay, I need to put some free point section on here, so I just got to read graphs. So this one, 1/2, 0. 0, -1. Did good with that. 2, 0. On that part right there, I realized that's a new looking graph for you, so you weren't sure if it hit that whole section. So I accepted anywhere from 1 to 3. But technically, what that graph really looks like, if you zoom in on it, is it just hits it at this middle point only. It comes up close, passes through at 2, and then comes on up. That term that we use is tangent. Raise your hand if you remember the term tangent from last year. Tangent means it hits at only one point. Okay? So this one, -3, 0, and -1, 0. There's a scale here. Read your scale. And then y-intercept, I accepted 2, 3, or 4 because it wasn't quite clear. And then your symmetry, be specific. Yes, this is symmetric. You can rotate it around that point and get the same thing. You can rotate it around that point. Or you can fold it over a perpendicular line. This one, it's symmetric about the point 2, 0, or you could rotate it 180 degrees. Around 2, 0. C, line x equals -2. Because if you look at this line, that point folds over, that point folds over, that point folds over. But it doesn't fold over any axis, it folds over the line x equals 2. Okay? So here's what I'm dealing, this one I tried to review that as well. Okay? So, okay, account balance on 6. It went up, and then it went down, so it's not linear. Or it went up $25, and now it went up $32. Okay? So, no, not linear. It's going up and down and up and down and up and down. 7. We need to work. Well, I always think that's something special, but it's just lunch. So right now, are you hungry? Okay. Well, other people get to eat now. But we have to wait. Dang it. Okay. So here you go. On 7, we need to work more on, real world stuff. Tried to hit this, but evidently we need to hit it more. What are the x and y intercepts? Well, 6, 0. My x is 6, and my y is 0. Okay. My y-intercept is x is 0. My y is 24. Okay. But what does this mean? Yes, my x is time. But x is time here, there, and there. So I want to know specifically what's special about this time. That's the time when it hits the ground.
0.
Okay. So this one, what's special about the y-intercept? I agree it's height. But all these are heights. What's special about this height? That's the height when my x is 0. So that's where it starts at. It's like they're launching it from the top of a 2-story school. Okay. 8. Determine whether this function is odd, even, or neither. Confirm algebraically. Well, this one's even. One way you could tell is because it has y-axis symmetry. And then this one's, well, actually, let's finish this one. Confirm algebraically. Take x, put in negative x. Gee, where have we seen that before? Brrr. Okay. Put in negative x for x, simplify, and I get the negative cancels, x squared plus 5, x squared plus 5. It's the same set of points. So it does have that symmetry. If I make this, let's just take algebraic again. If I plug in negative x for x, simplify, my negative survives, but then that negative cancels that negative, so I get 6x to the third. They're opposites, so that means it's odd. And again, trying to set some foundation for later. 9. Identify and estimate the values of the extrema. Here we go. There's a relative maximum of 8 at x equals 2. There's a relative minimum of 4 at x equals 0. Let's just take care of this extremity. There is no absolute max. It goes on forever. There's no absolute minimum. It goes on forever, so there's just those two. This one, there's a maximum, which ends up being an absolute max of 6. It's the highest it gets, and it occurs at 2 points, -1 and 1. Minimum, the relative minimum in its neighborhood, 5, and it happens at x equals 0. End behavior, as x gets smaller, my y gets bigger. And as x gets bigger, my y gets more negative. And this one, they're both negative. If I go to the right and the left, both going down. Okay, 10, again, in the context of this situation, what's happening? Okay, you show me that graph. What's happening in the real world? Well, at the end of our graph, our savings keep going up and up and up and up and up. Personally, I think this is a poorly chosen graph on their point because they saved very little week 1, a little bit more week 2, and they're saving more and more and more and more. The savings account, well, that's an exponential function, and it's really not going to grow that quite that quickly. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. You don't need to worry about that. 11, x or y intercepts. To find your x-intercept, you make your y 0 and solve. Some people had 4 instead of -4. Well, when you move your 12 over, it becomes -12. Okay, we have -4. For our y, we plug in 0 for x, and I get my y is 6. Okay, let me show you what happened with the points here. I kind of changed my mind on the point values and stuff after I started grading them. First thing I want you to understand is there's only 52 possible points. Okay? Only 52. I took it out of 60, so I gave you 8 free. Okay, and then we started building from there. But then there's a couple things I didn't like that maybe I need to hit just a little bit harder. So then I took it out of 58 instead. So I gave everybody, it's kind of like I gave you 2 free points back. But then I was like, okay, I don't want this to be worth 58 points. I want it to be a lower value than this for your first test. So I converted it to out of 40 on my calculator. Okay? So that's why your score is out of 40. If you take your grade out of 58 and your grade out of 40, they will be basically identical. Function. I will always put 2 bonuses on your quizzes. One will be a math bonus, either about something that may be related to what we're doing or something that's coming up and I want to evaluate how well you know it. And then another one to just tell me something about yourself. In this case, each input yields only one output. Each answer has only each input has only one answer. This input, we have that answer and that answer. That's not a function. What test is that? Vertical line test. A function fails the vertical line test. That's going to become important. Actually, we're talking about that in calculus tomorrow. Tell me about your family. I love that you guys spent so much time writing and telling me about the situation you live in or you come from or something like that. Mine, my parents, they're still alive when you get to be my age. Hey, that's a possibility. They're both 86. They live in Texas. They moved down to be winter Texans and avoid the winter here. And they liked it down there enough that they just stayed down there. My dad's like, I'm never scooping snow again. And sometimes you can't blame it. Okay. I have a sister that also lives in Texas. She retired from the Air Force. She was a nurse in the Air Force, got out, and used the GI Bill to get her actual acceptable nursing degree, and she's worked in an ER for 15 years now, and now she's retired. She lives right next to my parents, and she goes to all their medical appointments with them, and it's been very helpful, very helpful. And when you get that age, you have like a medical appointment every week. It's all the time. It's crazy. I got a brother that lives in Arizona. He's a electrical engineer at a nuclear power plant. So if you ever want to talk about renewable power or anything like that, I've got some good background on that. It's one of the larger nuclear power plants in the United States. And smart guy. Probably making, I don't know, close to 250, 300 a year. He's done a good job educating himself and finding a good job. Okay. Maybe the most important part, just like the most important part of your assignments. Anything you want me to go over again? Because I gladly will. I know I went through that quickly. Okay. But it's just like review stuff. If you don't understand it, you need... there's another thing. Yeah, that last problem, number 11, X and Y intercepts. Practice that too. Ugh! I expected better. Anything you want to take a look at? Oh, if you have a big circled number next to yours, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7, that means that's if I grouped all 3 classes together, and if you got a 1 next to yours, you had the top score out of all 3 of my classes. If you had a 4, you had the 4th best score out of all my classes. And I usually do that for like the top 7, something like that. I don't do it for everybody just because I don't want you to know you got last. That would be kind of sad. But maybe kick you in the butt, too. Who knows? Okay. Anything you want to take a look at? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here's what you probably might have some questions about. Retake policy. Retake policy here at West Point is I don't have to give retakes. I can do whatever I feel is appropriate. Okay? At my last school, they were required, and I developed a policy that I thought worked pretty well. At this point, it's really important we learn this information. So then that's the purpose of a retake, is to not only raise your grade, but to learn the information a little bit better. So I think retakes are fine, but I don't do it in my college level classes. Okay? But here's the deal. I don't want you just to get an A and retake every stinking quiz. See what's on it. You come back, retake it. I still got an A. That's not the right thing to do. So here's what I do. Within a quarter, the first retake you take in that quarter, you can get all the way up to a 90%. So say on this one, if you really had a bad day, you didn't prepare as well as you thought you should, or something like that, you got a 55, you can still get a 90. Okay, but you better be ready to go. Okay, because I'm going to make some changes. Okay. The second time you retake a quiz during a quarter, the highest you can get on that was an 80. Because by this point in time, you should be learning that I got to prepare a little bit better and do my homework a little bit better, yada, yada, yada. From there on, the highest you can get is a 70 on retakes. This gives you a little bit of grace, a little bit of leeway. Gives those that are trying to get an A chance to go, okay, I had a bad day. I need to do something different. Okay, but then you can't get that high grade every single time. You have 1 week to do it, no longer. If you look back on the board back there in the purple, it says A2, 1-1 to 1-3 by Wednesday, the 10th. If you come in Thursday morning, my answer is going to be nope. The deadline's a deadline. Okay? And that's just fair. Okay? But I like to have stuff done all in one setting. Not do half of it, go back, study what you haven't done yet, and then finish it. So I doubt you're going to get it done in 8th period. So that's going to leave before school or after school. I'm not going to let you get out of another class to do it. Why? Because that puts pressure on your teachers to let you out of class when they may not want you. Like say, if you had a history class and you're like, oh, I forgot, today's the deadline. Mr. Jones, can I please get out of your class? I'm not going to put other teachers in that position. You have 5 mornings, 5 after schools before you can get it done. What's going to happen is you're going to come over, it'll be on that cart, it'll be in one of those 2 files right there. It'll be orange. It'll be different. You'll come in, grab it, get started. You'll finish it all in one setting. Hand it to me when you're done. Okay? Questions about the retake policy? Do you like or dislike the retake policy? What do other teachers do? Do they allow retakes or not?
Yes.
Okay. Do they average the 2?
No.
They just do the retake? Yeah, okay. But most. Okay, I can see. Okay. Let's take a look. What are we going to be able to do today? So right now, if you apply the filter of thought that you should really be thinking, man, can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? If not, come on in. What? No, that's a great question. You keep them. That's in your part of your organizational system. Okay? So like when we get like 4 or 5 tests, I want to be able to come around and say, hey, where's your quizzes and tests? And they're not just shoved into your book. Okay? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We've got about 15 minutes here. I'll do one quick example. So you also need to be able to get things into slope-intercept form. So last night, one of the worksheets was to graph things in slope-intercept form. Today, we're going to get things into slope-intercept form and graph those. Okay? So let's do an example of one of the harder ones, and then we'll be done, and you can work on your homework. So this is mostly just algebra skills. This all should be review at this point. So in this one, our first goal is to get this into slope-intercept form. So what does that mean? Y by itself. Let's get y by itself. So what should I do first? Yeah, what is it? What's that called? She's doing this. What's it called? Distribute. I'm going to distribute the 2 through. So I get 6x plus 12 equals 4y minus 4. Distributive property. You guys should be professionals at distributive property. So now I've got my x terms sorted out, my constant terms sorted out. So now I can start moving things around. What should I do next? Anybody? Add 4. If I focus on the y, that's a little dangly bit that's around the y, so that plus or minus, I got to add 4 to both sides. I don't know why I crossed that out. And to be honest, at this level, I don't really care if you show that part. Okay? Because as you get wiser and wiser, it should just be obvious what to do. If you need to show that, great. If you make mistakes when you don't show it, I encourage you to show it. So now what I got to do to finish getting y by itself? Divide by 4. And I'm going to divide every single individual term by 4. And hence I get y, those cancel out, 4 3/2 x. So there we go. 3/2 x plus 4. And this was not from the worksheet. This is just an example I did. And then from now, if you did your stuff last night, you should be pros at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to start right there. What should I do after that? I get my y-intercept 4. What should I do? Up 3 over 2. Yada, da, da, da. So here's what we're doing. This one, the numbers on the bottom chopped off. So I'm going to have to call this worksheet electric. And I also want you to do page 43. 8 through 12 even. Those are graphs. So grab yourself some graph paper. And also, to get y by itself, you're probably going to need a little bit more room. So grab another sheet of paper to get y by itself. Remember, keep good inventory of how you're doing. Get together with friends, get together with me, but get it whipped.